Okay, this is going to be a follow-up video to the Venom X15 bike that I did a video on a few months ago, and mostly to talk about kind of this POS right here I bought a few weeks ago. I've seen these referred to as X7s, ministars, predators. I've seen a few vendors out there selling them. It's a 110cc motorcycle automatic transmission. Since the first video I did with the X15, I bought this bike new, that we'll call that the Predator. You can call it whatever you want. And I've also bought a used X19. Maybe some of you have seen those before. So I'm going to just talk mostly about the Predator. We'll talk a little bit about the X15 I bought from Venom a few months ago or this winter, early before Christmas. And just kind of give you an update on what I think, where it's at. And also want to start off by saying my standard disclaimer: I have no affiliation with any of these companies. I'm just an average goober like everyone else. So, and just FYI too, this bike here is about in between size-wise the X15 and the X19. And if I have a picture at the end of this video, if I feel ambitious enough, I'll edit it in. I was hoping to have them sitting by each other for the video, but this Predator, the Silver Predator, gave me so many issues this weekend that I just need to get it running again and make it go away on Craigslist. So, my recommendation on this particular bike, again, you've probably seen a few of them for sale. Here's the, I was hoping to have it together, but I got to work on it after about a half hour. This bike reminds me of something that I would have built in 9th grade shop class. It relatively poorly done, fit and finish. Now again, it's a Chinese motorcycle. I'm not, expecting Honda quality, but now that I have something to compare it to, like the X15, that Venom X15, that's a better bike than this. That's given me less problems. We've gotten a lot of use out of that. This bike, since almost the minute we started, well, when I got it home, I bought it in Austin, Texas. I live in Minnesota, but I was down there for the MotoGP race at the Circuit of Americas. Had them advertised on Craigslist, ran over to this fly-by-night fit out of Austin somewhere. I bought it for $550 brand new, but it didn't run, and I said, we kind of bargained it down. I said, you know what, just, you want to load it up for that amount of money, I'm fine with that. I'll get it running when I get home. So I did have to buy a new battery. The battery that was in there was dated 2015, so it would not take a charge. Once I did get it running, well, I had to get it running on starting fluid. It would not run with the current carburetor on there. I had to order a new carburetor. Now the carburetor off Amazon was only, I think, $14, but when I got the new carburetor, ran like a top then. Got it going. The foot pegs. This one here, you can't really tell, but was kind of swayed way out. I had to cut the metal here on the top and the bottom. Cut it all the way to the rear. Left a little bit hanging there. Same thing on the bottom. Took a crescent wrench, swung this bracket out, and then re-welded it here and on the bottom. On the other side, it was the exact opposite problem. It was hitting here because this bracket was welded in at too much of an angle. So I cut that back from here back to there. Same thing on the bottom there. Swung that out. Cut it this way to here, that way to there. Swung it out, and then re-welded it to get it equally about 3/4 of an inch on each side. Foot pegs, things like that nature, it's just bent up tin versus like the Venom is, a solid cast piece. We ran it for about a half hour. The chain broke, and I actually robbed the link off the X15 and went to start it again, and this is what I get. And that was with a brand new battery. So I'm throwing the charger on it right now, but I'm pretty sure it's the starter. Some of the brackets, they don't have all the screws in because they didn't line up. This fairing on the back broke. The only thing holding on with these two screws, so it kind of flops in the rear. This is the tail light, I guess. I'm not complaining about that so much, but if I was to give you my 2 cents, you don't want this motorcycle. I was hoping that, it would fit my boy a little bit better. I think that X19 probably would work. I picked it up because the price was right. I bought that used for $500. It runs and starts good with the Kickstarter. The electric start switch is hanging down. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I thought for the money. These bikes, I know minipocketrockets.com's got them on order. They keep pushing the order date back. We haven't ridden this one yet, but if these sold new a few years ago, I think this is a 2007, and if the new ones are like this for $1,000, I haven't driven it yet, or my kid hasn't, but that's a lot of motorcycle for $1,000. It's very heavy duty. Just everything about it. Bigger tires, the frame. This thing is pretty stout for. I paid $1,000 for that, and I paid, if this was new, let's say for $1,000, I paid $500 used. But, that's a night and day difference. This blue one here, the X19, is, like I said, it looks to be a lot more just heavily built. Everything on it is just kind of beefy. So, and I like the Kickstarter. The electric start, in my opinion, is just one more thing to go wrong. The Kickstarter, I wish they all came with like that. If a Chinese motor manufacturer is watching this video ever, I'm going to give you my 2 cents. I would like to see a bike maybe this size here, like the Predator, or the X7, or the Ministar, or whatever you want to call it. In between these two bikes, not quite that big, not quite that small, and save the money on all the lights and the horns, and maybe you can market it as, or get it into the US as competition only. I know there's a bike out there called the KO125. I'm gonna probably buy one of those for my son. It might be a little too big for him. I think it's a couple inches higher than the X19, but that doesn't have, it's obviously a lot more money, but I think it's a better built bike. They don't have all the miscellaneous little junk on it. I'd just like to see something that, we've been racing these things and playing with them in parking lots, and I've got him a leather suit out of Britain for a couple $100, and these Velcro knee pads, he's wearing them down. It's so fun to watch, and we're having a good time doing it. Maybe at the end of this video, maybe I can post some video, or just look at some of my other videos. You'll see him racing these things. So, and I put the KTM up there. That's a KTM 50 Senior, so you just have a reference point. Most people have a KTM dealer near them. You may not have a, most of these have to be ordered. So you can kind of see, this is like a 20, I'm guessing 24.5-inch seat height. KTM's 26.5, so I'd say it's a couple inches taller than the X19. I don't know what that is. It's probably like 20 or something, or 18. It's pretty small. But the X15, I gotta say, we got probably about 5-6 hours on it now, which is a lot. He rides that thing. We bought that new one. It's got 36 on it. We ride that thing all the time, so it takes a lot to run up these hours. But we ran this. Barked it up a little bit, had to order some parts from Venom. To their credit, they got them to me in a relatively reasonable time frame. you know, I needed a fairing, I needed a brake lever, a caliper, and it wasn't the bike's fault. It was him, you know, smoking something. So that particular bike, you know, for the, you know, for, I think I paid $9.50 or whatever shipped, and I think Safer Wholesale's got them for $6.99, and you got to pay the shipping. So it's probably a wash. I don't know. You know, Venom does advertise these for as a 90cc. I don't think that's true. I believe this is a 60cc. It had a data plate on it that said that. I actually took the data plate off because it was kind of in my way. You know, and I remember I emailed them about it, and they said, oh, that's what the data plate says, but they updated them. But, you know, the size of the motor, you know, the cylinder head and everything in there, it's just, I don't believe it is. And then based upon the power it has, it's a 60cc four-stroke. So why they're doing that, I don't know. And maybe I'm incorrect. You know, I don't want to make it sound like you know, the only way you're going to tell is tear apart the motor and measure the piston, but I'm not doing that. So anyway, I just thought I'd give a quick update, give you my 2 cents on these bikes. Like I said, I feel that the X15, to kind of follow up with that, I said I was going to do a follow-up video, and this is more about the Predator, I think, than anything. But you know, I feel this was a good value. I think we're going to move on here probably by in a month or two, so this will be sold. But I think this was a great bike to kind of learn that style of riding on. I'd say if you have a 5 to 7, 8-year-old and that's what you want to do. I mean, if you're a grown adult, I know some people buy these to tool around the neighborhood on. I have no idea why, but if you're buying it for your kid to kind of, like my kid that saw MotoGP racing and want to give it a try, I think this was a great bike for that. You know, for the money. Is it Honda Yamaha quality? No, but if you were to compare it to that other the Predator there on the stand, this is a much better value, I believe. Again, my 2 cents. You know, I hope they make these again. I know Mini Pocket Rockets, they had I've been watching that website for a while. They had a delivery back in stock date of March, and then they pushed it out to May, and now it's back out to August. And you know, who knows, maybe they're redesigning it and cheapening it up, or maybe it's going to be better. But if it is similar to this, and it's $1,000, boy, you know, I'd be curious to hear some thoughts on that when if someone buys one of those and makes a video. Make sure to tag me in it on my comment section or something so I can see it. I'd love to get your opinion on it. So, but like I said, I think we're gonna maybe buy the KO 125. They're $3,000 shipped. Like I said, it's a much better bike. The motor is a Chinese motor. It's based upon the Yamaha TTR 125 motor on that KO 125, and you can get a Recluse clutch for TTR, and I actually emailed Recluse, but I haven't heard back. But the guy said it's an exact copy of the TTR 125 motor. So if I do get the KO 125, I'm gonna get a Recluse clutch for it for $500. Stick that in, and that'll also make it a little easier for my my 5-year-old, or not 5, he's 8. He just turned 8 actually a couple weeks ago. My 8-year-old now to shift with the Recluse clutch in it, and then eventually we'll take it out. Yeah, so like I said, this was probably more about this particular bike. I was hoping to do more follow-up, but I think it was good. You kind of, you know, you're comparing a couple machines, 3 machines, you know, the X19, X15, and this Predator X7, I guess. But yeah, like I said, I paid $550, and you know, I had to stick about $40 in it with the battery. I think was 30, and then the carb was 14, so 45. Got it running fine, but you know, then I had to cut apart the frame before we went out. And oh yeah, one other thing too, so this triple clamp here wouldn't hold, and I mean, I tried and basically ended up crushing the tube. So I had some 7/8 bar stock 11 gauge heavier duty stuff laying around, cut it, drilled out the holes, and then started cranking it down, and ended up breaking this clamp here. You know, it's made out of cheap pot metal. Had a buddy of mine machine a whole new one out of aluminum there. You can see it's a little flashy in the other one. Used a grade 8 bolt, still tightened it up, and couldn't get it to hold, and ended up taking a little bit of steel wool cut it up and as a shim, put it in there. You can even see it kind of sticking out there. And got it to hold in. But just one other thing, you know, if I kept going here, I'm sure I could probably think more and more about other problems I've had with this thing. And I mean, I've only probably don't even have an hour on it. And, you know, I got to find a connecting link now for the chain, kind of fab up something to fix that. You know, I'll probably order a new starter. I'm pretty sure that's the problem. It sounds like a dead battery, but I don't think that's the issue. I think something's jacked up inside the starter. So fairing's got to come off. So yeah, I got to put a bunch of time and a few more bucks into this thing to get it moving again. But yeah, once get it running again, I'm gonna get it down the road. And he either can ride, I think that X15, which, like I said, might be a little much. This one here, they made these in 2 versions. They made this in a 4-speed manual with a clutch. That's what this one is. And they also made this in an automatic. I've seen a few of those for sale too. I would have bought both if I could have found them both, but and then he could have probably played with the automatic right away. And he's starting to. We've got an XR80 there that my daughter, I sold that TTR 125 or that 110, and this one here is for my older daughter, and this is a 80 4-stroke with a clutch. And last night he was out riding this, but he's not great at it, but he's getting it. He can pull the clutch in, shift, get moving, shifts into second, third, but then every now and again he stalls it out, and then he's got to ask me what was second again, or something like that. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm probably just going to upload this video right onto YouTube without anything else. Like I said, feel free to subscribe. Never been that YouTube guy, but if you like these videos, make sure to like them, comment. A few other people have commented. I'm always good to comment back. Like I said, I'm just an average goober like anyone else. So, yeah. So, all right. Well,